The swing at midnight. It was 11:47 p.m., and the city streets were damp and desolate, the kind of cold that seeped into your bones. Despite the chill, I kept walking, my shoes slapping against wet pavement. I wasn't sure where I was going or how long I had been at it, but stopping wasn't an option. I was lost not just in the streets, but in my life. Everything felt numb, and I barely cared anymore. Then, in the midst of the storm, I saw it. A playground, its silhouette hazy through the mist. The sight stirred something deep inside me. It looked just like the one from my childhood. I could almost smell the damp mulch, hear the rusted squeak of the swing set. Drawn toward it, I walked to the swings, gripping the cold chains. Without thinking, I sat down and started to swing. For the first time in what felt like forever, a small sense of freedom fluttered in my chest. The wind rushed against my face, just like it did when I was a kid. As I kicked higher into the night, the weight of everything felt a little lighter. "You still know how to catch air," came a voice from behind. I jumped, my grip slipping on the chains. Turning around, I saw her. She stood near the swings, a girl my age, maybe a little older, with a quiet smile that made me both nervous and curious. "Sorry," she said with a slight laugh. "Didn't mean to scare you." "It's okay," I said, catching my breath. I didn't expect company. She sat on the swing next to mine, and for a moment, neither of us spoke. The soft creaking of the swings filled the space between us, and that was enough. "I'm Max," I said, offering her my hand. "Rena." She shook my hand, her smile small but warm. After a beat of silence, she turned toward me. "Can I tell you something?" "Sure," I replied, leaning back on the swing. "I don't know what I'm doing with my life," she confessed, her voice soft but certain. I couldn't help but let out a low laugh. "You're not alone in that. I'm pretty sure I'm doing everything wrong, too." She raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "I mean, I'm 25, just lost my job, drowning in debt, and on top of that, my ex left me. Took our dog, the one I paid for, and I'm one missed rent away from moving back to my parents' basement." I laughed bitterly. "I'm a walking cliche, aren't I?" Rena nodded thoughtfully, then said, "My best friend passed away 6 months ago. We were supposed to open an art gallery together, but now I can't even look at a paintbrush without breaking down. I haven't touched a canvas since she's been gone." Her words hung in the cold air between us, heavy and raw. I didn't know what to say. Nothing I could say would make it better. So I didn't try. Instead, I said the only thing I could. "I'm sorry, Rena." "Thanks," she whispered, her eyes misty. "Sometimes it's just good to say it out loud, you know?" "Yeah," I agreed. "It is." For a while, we just sat there, two strangers sharing a brokenness we both understood. There was comfort in knowing neither of us had it all figured out. "You know," I said, breaking the silence, "I bet you're an amazing artist. I think you'll find your way back to it." She smiled at me, the kind that didn't quite reach her eyes but meant something all the same. "I think you should fight for your dog back." I chuckled at her sudden shift in tone. "Yeah, maybe I will." And then we laughed. We laughed about the absurdity of it all, about life, loss, love, and the ridiculous twists our paths had taken. It was the first time I had really laughed in months. The sound of our laughter mingled with the soft creak of the swings and the distant patter of rain. As the sky began to lighten with the first hints of dawn, we both stood, knowing it was time to go back to the real world, where our problems still waited. "Maybe I'll come to your art exhibit someday," I said, giving her a hopeful smile. She laughed softly. If I ever finish it, sure. And if you're still in the city, I will be. I'm not leaving, I promised. How about this, she suggested. 6 months from now, we meet here again. Same time, same swings, no matter what's going on. I grinned, though I tried to hide how much I liked the idea.
Deal.
She took a step toward me, surprising me with a quick kiss on the cheek. Until next time, Max. I watched as she disappeared into the early morning mist, and for the first time in a long while, I felt something close to hope. I sat back down on the swing, feeling the cold metal under my hands again. Maybe being lost wasn't such a bad thing after all. Sometimes, when you're lost, you stumble upon exactly what you need. I kicked off and let the swing carry me into the morning, my heart lighter than before. 6 months. I had a date to make.